Glad there are before I...
My friend from Placid Waters. Appreciate you fetching the pitch ball. Wonderful, wonderful. So good to see Millie again. You heading out?
Glad there are people out here like you. Gives hope.
Their team
Both of
plays
us,
the worst anyone has ever
we're
played.
forever in your
Our
debt.
first match is perfect. Anybody even listening to this? Welcome, babe.
Tired of file.
Freedom of choice. You want Auntie's choice.
Tramicular, arriving any moment now.
The story of
Approaching
Auntie
station.
Cleo versus the Moon Man is a ballad for our ages. A thing of legend, to be handed down for a modest fee to each successive generation. Spacer's choice swollen-headed mascot represents the worst impulse. Corporations who unfairly stand the deck against the little person, as they tried with us at
I see you're back.
Our team at Proprietary Insight Acquisition has been salivating over the potential commercial applications of that process.
Cleo's darlings refused to do when things were down at the end of the sponsorship series against the Spacers chosen.
I'm Jean Turner Tyler, sixth base person for the Anti-Cleo
Well,
Darlings.
got what we needed. Sometimes a buck.
Better in the ground than in our enemy's employ. Nice work, my ameliorator.
Now, I assume you won't mind we have a few questions about the process. Our people will extract details about the pharmacology and methodology. That will all no doubt prove useful, but we're most interested in the technology and its results.
Anti-Cleo, and I endorse this message.
Can't say I like the sound of that. Seems like they'd be difficult to market to.
How truly unfortunate. Those without desire or drive make terrible customers. They could barely even be considered consumers at all.
What else can you tell us about the place? Turn up any additional details? Anything especially marketable?
Thanks to our marketing wizards selling the sizzle of incremental product improvements, sales of new and improved stimulants and nutrition supplements are up 11%.
That's certainly interesting. Intriguing, even. What else?
That's small change compared to experimental operations where
Oh, good to know, good to know.
confidential working.
But still, they keep on marketing it as virtually foolproof, don't they? So much for their vaunted moral high ground, and so much for us exploiting that piece of technology.
In our entire operational budget for the next
Excellent. Well, here's your reward, along with something extra for your effort. Too bad about the lead scientist. Converting him would have earned you an above-average payout. All right, for your next assignment, well, it's something of an organizational priority.
Congratulations. Your storied success has earned you a whole entire minute with our illustrious leader, Auntie Cleo.
So your preliminary chores are complete. Finally, a contractor with a little backbone. Normally they flee or expire, leaving the work woefully incomplete. Ah, I remember you from before. Fairfield, yes? Tell me, as an outside agent, do you have any quandaries working with our organization? Ah, I see we have an ideological fellow traveler. Why, this is a nice surprise. Do hope you'll forgive these two. They're competing for a rather significant promotion, you see. Tends to make employees fractious, like young ursopods cooped up in the den. So, you've been advancing a fairly radical idea with a group that, to date, we've considered our rivals. Certain communications have even been exchanged between our ship and the Order's headquarters. You've spoken to the delegates, yes? A cessation of hostilities could present any number of potentially profitable options, assuming we could work out favorable terms. Oh, my security team would never allow it, but a call like this over a secure line should be an acceptable alternative. Of course, Ruth would also need to agree. Perhaps if you were to perform a few useful errands for the Order, you might earn a meeting with her to propose the same. Have Ruth reach out when she's ready to talk, and I'll set up a call on a secure line next door.
Good luck, my Amelia.
Don't let us keep-
Remember, you can't spell heinous ascetic without Auntie's choice.
No, as a responsible member. Society, we allow you.
You. I don't know you, but you, I do. It's good to see you, Asa. It's me, Severin. You know, I've never been to Cloister before. It's cold.
What is wrong with you? Boy, damn it! Did they mentally refresh you?
No, let's just say I'm well lubricated. You tried the new Prestige gin? It helps when you have to do something you really don't want to do. Yes, there are a bunch of sentinels in hiding. When I give the word, they're to execute both of you.
Not before I mentally refresh your brain pan with my knife.
Maybe I deserve to be. I didn't want to do this. I guess I shouldn't have questioned the kill order so loudly. It was real. It came from the exalted leader herself. She summoned me, knew of the message I'd sent, said I'd ruined everything. To save myself, save the Dawn, I had to do this. I'm a coward. I didn't want to die. I'm sorry, Asa.
Absolutely not. We don't need his help. We should just kill him and get on with the Sentinel killing. If we die, at least I'll be taking a great many of them with us. You make a compelling argument. No need to waste our time killing the yet more faceless cogs in the Protectorate machine. As fun as that may be.
But you're basically just asking me whether I'd like to be killed by you or the Sentinels. Because when they figure it out, they'll execute me. That gin must have muddled my gray matter more than I thought. I'd have sworn there was no... And thank you.
What an idiot. I can't believe I thought of him as a friend. I can't believe she betrayed... Well, one, we do know that she was in league with the Sentinels, though. There's nothing of it but to get ourselves inside their headquarters on Praetor. We'll track her by accessing their comm system. We don't need... I stole their access codes when I was younger, but never had the nerve.
Suffered extensive damage, Commander.
People are gonna start to talk. Aren't you there? Was there anything else you wish to discuss?
I look forward now. How much? Yes, don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Here's something to keep you quiet. Yes, I'm sure.
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. Faith is trust without evidence. You just... Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant. I admit, when I sent my initial message, I did not exactly know who its recipient would be. but I trusted the plan. And lo and behold, it provided you as the solution. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. If your actions were so easily imitable, then we would not be speaking right now. Accept the credit. However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. I just received the most curious transmission from Auntie Cleo. She wishes to discuss a partnership of sorts, and I heard you were the source of this plot. I must admit I have significant doubts about colluding with an entity like Auntie's Choice. Why should the Order agree to even entertain the possibility? Levin's methodology is usually faultless, and it would be a pity to scrap so much fine preparatory work. Auntie Cleo has already proposed a secure conference room on board the Undisputed Claim for our use. I will await your arrival there to mediate.
Failed to cite her work completely. I worked with presiding Bishop Orlo, you know. Now there was a serious scientician.
That's one way to become the center of attention.
The plan is always in motion. Much like you, it would seem. Call it proof of concept. Laplace's garden is more than its aesthetic. It offers a vision of a future free from the despotic rule of narrow-minded jingoists, where the fruit of the plan can finally ripen. It saddens me to see the garden so despoiled by our wartime presence. But with the loss of Spirton, necessity dictated we quarter here in the interim. Oh, the Laureate Council simply draws a name out of a hat. Yes, there is a reason they call it the madness of crowds. In reality, I was recommended for my position by the preceding bishop. Paired with my skills as a seer, I was the natural choice when it came time for the council to vote. Thank you for that charitable assessment. My predecessor, presiding Bishop Orlo, and I had a close working relationship. He knew I possessed the skills and temperament for the role. I counted him a friend. Orlo shared with me his doubts about the Order's partnership with the Protectorate. The compromise is made. He had many such regrets at the end of his life. Likely not. But it is the responsibility of every student to surpass their mentor in understanding and sentiment. And I can reliably assert that I have done that. May you achieve progress in a... Welcome back, Agent. Is there some evaluation? As I told you in my message, a splinter group was responsible for recruiting your fellow agent and tasking her to perpetrate that heresy. The conviction of those radicals was such that they elected to perish from exposure to Cloister's wilderness to avoid fouling their predictions and my interference. Their interpretation of the data was at odds with mine. I forbade them taking action, to no avail, obviously. I disavowed their actions then, as I do now. A wise leader is always open to...
Can't afford.
Hello, layperson.
Be the statistical exception to the natural state of entropy in the universe.
Let's pinpoint what you and I can accomplish.
Welcome back, Agent. Is there... may...
Your actions are in accordance with the plan.
Now watching.
Well, we have visitors. At first, we thought they were converts to the Order, newly initiated into the wonders and glory of the plan. And they apparently mistook us for believers of their zealous delusion. They are nonsensically worshippers of the rifts. The literal, actual rifts. Supposedly, through the rifts, we transcend this mortal coil and are united in an ethereal utopia. Instead of the likely experience of having atoms ripped apart. Still, despite their peculiar notions and rituals, we did not consider this to be disqualifying of our good grace and hospitality. Until they tossed Johansson to the rift while I
Not watching it.
Well, we have visitors. At first, we thought they were converts to the Order, newly initiated into the wonders and glory of the plan. And they apparently mistook us for believers of their zealous delusion. They are nonsensically worshippers of the rifts. The literal, actual rifts. Supposedly, yes, we transcend this mortal coil and are united in an ethereal utopia, instead of the more likely experience of having one's atoms ripped apart. Still, despite their peculiar notions and rituals, we did not consider this to be disqualifying of our good grace and hospitality. Until they tossed Johansson into the rift. And while I cannot say for certain what happens when you pass through a rift, those of us who remain have no intention of finding out. We are planning a quiet exit in the night.
We're up against a lot of Protectorate firepower. You got a plan, or are we just gonna fly by the seat of our pants as per usual?
Not a bad idea, though I'd also suggest garnering backup. The Order desperately want to regain control of the archive. We could offer to hand it to them later, after we process the data, in exchange for help now.
Anti or the Order? I suppose it depends which flavor of ally interests you. Bits, math, or both.
All right, it's a plan.
Fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're... together.
Prudence dictates we cherish all we have and defend it.
Our enemies envy our prosperity.
Dagmar didn't betray us to the Sentinels. She is a Sentinel with a fucking office here in Central Control. It's enough to make one take leave of their sanity.
Oh, child. I think that tram has long since cleared the station.
I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that. Fortunately, there's an easy solution to Dagmar's betrayal. One which involves removing her head from her body. Or maybe we should start with the disemboweling? So many choices.
I suppose congratulations are in order for having dispatched so many Sentinels. Can't rightly say I'm surprised, what with your knack for wanton violence. But still, impressive. And let's not forget that I was the one who gave Azahelia Lightinger a purpose and fulfillment. Look at how much fun you've had.
The commander's right, though I do love hearing you grovel. Almost as much as I'm going to enjoy your screams.
Let's not be hasty. I mean, can it even be a betrayal if it was always lies? But I must say, when I started the Dawn at the Consul's behest, I knew you were the perfect candidate.
What are you talking about?
No, there were not. The fiction of a cult was born out of the need to convince the Sovereign to return to the true spirit of the Protectorate. The Consul feared he was too weak. I see that Aza isn't the only willfully ignorant person here. Society needs to be controlled for the greater good, by any means necessary. Or Would you prefer a more corporate way of life? If you have issue with the nature of humankind, perhaps you should take it up with the Grand Architect.
Dagmar, all this can't be right. How can you spout such lies? Our cause is righteous. It has to be.
As much as I'd prefer to not anger you, I must say your willful ignorance is still a thing to behold. You are always so willing to accept even the most specious of arguments. I can only hope your luck has run its course and the remaining Sentinels are able to put you down. Your death would put me back in the Consul's good graces. Goodbye, Azza.
No, that's too quick. What about... No, not painful enough. Yes, that's it. I just need to find a piece of heat-conducting metal and something to peel the skin effectively.
Dear, you really must try to work smarter, not harder, when it comes to effectively inflicting pain or eliminating a target. You'll wear yourself out.
What, you suddenly take issue with my methods? I can think of no reason to curtail the pleasure of my revenge. Dagmar must die. Violently. Her betrayal warrants no other response. I know of no other way to act.
Imbeciles! How did you let Azza get this far? Stop her! She means to assassinate me!
Hurt like us.
A perfect society.
Mobilizing. Aggressor at hand.
Peaceful labor.
Transmitter.
Not compete!
Dagmar would never let herself be cornered. She's sure to have an escape route. We should find it.
You're still alive! Now, let's not be too hasty here. You seem a rational person. There must be something we can do to resolve this peacefully. Please don't let Azza get her hands on me.
Why are you talking to them, Dagmar? I'm the one you must answer to. What? Why?
I must say, I am in favor of prolonging the inevitable myself. What I did for the greater good, to save the colony, all at the Consul's behest. It was my duty as a loyal subject to the true Protectorate. What other reason need there be? And Azza, she was an obvious choice. So lost, so dead inside, so in need of guidance. But then, she went berserk. I never imagined how she'd take to the killing and mayhem. You brought me great praise from the Consul. Until you started asking questions and killing the wrong people.
Enough of this blathering on. It's well past time for Dagmar and her life to part ways. Feel free to think on that while I start in on her dissection.
She's dead. As am I. She should have suffered more for what she did. You know, for a moment there, I was questioning everything, but it quickly became obvious she was just lying to save herself. Now that Dagmar is dead, I'll be leading the Dawn into the glorious future. True. There may be those that do not accept my leadership. I can send out a general I suspect enough to keep my knife skills up at least. It's done. Let's leave this place.
How did you let Azza get this far? Stop her! She means to assassinate me!
Hurt like us.
Ratcheting up my aggression.
Sharp enough. Hostile nearby.
Enter Donnie.
Dagmar would never let herself be cornered. She's sure to have an escape route. We should find it.
Please don't.
Why are you talking to them, Dagmar? What?
I must say, I am in favor. And now you brought me great praise from the consul. Until you started asking. The consul feared that the Sovereign wasn't up to the task he inherited. He actually believed the subjects no longer needed such a firm guiding hand. So the consul set to creating a challenge for the Sovereign to rise to make manifest the hidden dangers he refused to see. It began with labeling political subversives members of a fictitious cult. When that didn't work, the consul enlisted me to make the glorious dawn a reality.
Enough of this blathering on. It's well past time for Dagmar and her life to part ways. Feel free to think on that. She's dead. She should have suffered more for what she... Now that Dagmar is dead, I'll be leading... I can set places enough to keep my knife skills up. It's done. Let's leave this place. It sickens me.
Please don't.
Why are you talking to them, Dagmar? Well, I'm
Why? And you brought me great praise from the consul. Until you started asking questions and killing the wrong people. Which wrong people didn't she kill? We were supposed to work through intimidation and Sure, maybe kill some subjects, those that could possibly become threats to the Protectorate, but not the dozens she slaughtered. For Matriarch's sake, she was killing vigilance. And then she started asking questions that would have led to her discovering the truth. She had to die before the consul decided to cut the link between Azza...
Enough of this blathering on. It's well past time for Dagmar and her life to part. Feel free to think on that while I...
Mind the hostile.
Reloading! She's dead. As a power. Now that Dagmar is dead, I'll... True, I can fight enough to keep my knife skills. It's...
not.
Please don't.
Why are you talking to them, Dak? What?
I must say, I am in favor of prolonging the inevitable myself. And you brought me great praise from the console. Oh, sure. And then she started asking questions. It began with labeling political subversives members of a...
Enough of this blathering on. It's well past time for Dagmar and her life. Feel free to think on that while I start in on her dissection. She's dead. She should have suffered more for what she did. You know, for a moment there, I was questioning everything. But it quickly became obvious she was just lying to save herself. I don't appreciate your tone. Now that Dagmar is dead, I'll be leading the Dawn into the glorious future. True. There may be those that do not accept my lead. I can send out ISIS enough to keep my knife skills up at least. It's done. Let's leave this place. It sickens me. It's strange how if I hadn't started traveling with you, I may have spent my days hunting down the members I thought traitors and never... You may not have noticed, but I have a tendency to be a little impulsive. Reckless, even. The cult needs me. They need my certain... And I'm not discounting your part in all this. Like I said, without you, I'd be dead. The cult... If there's anything worse than my former fellow protector...
The story of Anti-Cleo versus the Moon Man is a ballad for our ages. A thing of legend, to be handed down for a modest fee to each successive generation. Spacer's choice swollen-headed mascot represents the worst impulses of old corporations, who unfairly stacked the deck against the little person, as they tried with us at Tau Ceti. But did Anti-Cleo take Spacer's choice devious shenanigans lying down? No! Just like our sponsored gospels.
Look who it is, the instigator. Her mathematicalness should be along soon, unless the leader of the Order's too busy crunching
There we are. Apologies for the delay. We were resolving some technical issues. Cloister's atmosphere has a tendency to...
Oh, yes. Regale us with a thorough account of Cloister's atmosphere. Spare no detail.
This must be Auntie Cleo's trademark wit. I expected better.
Attention, valued employees. Auntie here to brighten your workday with a report.
Why, I don't know what you're referring to, I'm sure. Compared to how I treat my staff, I'm being a peach.
If I was discourteous, I apologize. So long as our mediator proves up to the task, surely we can remain civil. If not, these negotiations may prove short indeed.
From where I'm positioned, I sense 3 sore points still in need of massage. Point 1, control of the archive. Point 2, oversight of production and distribution of skip cores. And point 3, management of Rift technology.
Before we go any further, I want it in writing that the Order will take full control of the archive without interference from Auntie's choice.
What? So the Order can set it fruitlessly idling for another few centuries? We would put it to far more practical use. Imagine the marketing strategies it could develop.
I would sever my own hand before giving custody of the archive over to a corporation. Humanity's ascension depends on its calculations. No, such a condition is out of the question.
Not completely sure you can convince me that Auntie's choice benefits from receiving 0 access to that wondrous little doodad. kindly enlighten me on precisely what those greater gains would be? Oh, grand. More negotiations to look forward.
The Order is pleased to accept our mediators.
Yes, the Order can keep their contraption, but no one understands production.
Where Auntie's choice manages, the Order would undoubtedly excel. Do not exclude us from consideration merely.
So you ramp up production? And then what? Hand skip drives out for free to...
We would be diligent about who we licensed out the skip drives to. And a monopoly over space travel is precisely what I wish to avoid. This technology should benefit all humanity.
Exactly right.
As would the likelihood that we will eventually improve upon it. We shall allow Auntie's control of the current design. There is still the question of who takes possession of the Protectorate's rift technology once the war is finished. Although the science is still largely theoretical, this technology could be used to not only close rifts, but create new ones.
The Order would fritter away valuable time endlessly hand-wringing what to do with the technology. Auntie's choice would actually use it. For good, of course. In a gainful manner. A 50-50 split? But that's so... equal. I generally consider anything less than a majority as practically. If Ruth's open to it, I believe I can agree on the general terms here. And, well, we can haggle over minor...
I shall look forward to brokering the math. There is one final matter I wish to discuss. I require some chemicals that I have been told are manufactured at a plant on Praetor, controlled by Auntie's choice.
I know which plant you're referring to, Ruth, and what comes out of it is hardly safe for general use. Out of professional curiosity, what could you possibly need with such dangerous compounds? Running a little experiment, are we? On what? Or whom?
That is, quite frankly, none of your concern.
Precisely. Partners don't withhold secrets, although they can and probably should withhold extremely dangerous chemicals if not properly notified of what they will be used for.
I will make no progress with my request without further explanation, will I? While the Archive is an infinitely complex machine, an equally complex apparatus has been designed which allows one to interact with it directly. Brain-to-logic assembly, as it were. Unfortunately, this headgear exacts a rather tremendous cost on the wearer. A certain panacea is needed to survive it, but I require these chemicals to finish it. Perhaps I have not been entirely forthright. This treatment will enact a permanent change in my personality. Irreversible. But it will not cost me anything I would lament losing.
And I thought we were the ones who threw caution to the wind. Well, Ruth, if worst comes to worst, I'd be happy to serve as a substitute teacher for the Order.
A generous offer, but I fear you lack a certain number of qualifications. Conscience, for example. That math is confidential, but I have enough reason to believe the outcome will be favorable. I did not anticipate needing to fight for my own physical autonomy, but thank you for respecting my choice.
Oh, how it's delightful to me to see you squirm. All right, I'll get you your weird chemicals. Best I'll say is today's outcome is workable. Barely. Our gains were not as exclusive as I had hoped they'd be.
Arriving at any arrangement even remotely equitable was statistically improbable. Be glad our mediator managed to find a middle path forward. As am I.
Well, that'll be all for today. Don't forget to purchase the latest and do come see me personally when you have time. One moment. There are still the logistics. We'll, of course, provide our expert troops to support these efforts. Have your people called...
Brusque, Auntie's troopers will, sir, but it would be irrational to expect you to endanger your own life without a more specific strategy in place. Fortunately, I have already given first. More importantly, there is a lift located in unlocking. Fortunately, I am told you already dealt with the cultists there. Ordinarily, I do not with such a device in hand, and perhaps at some later date, there is the Calcaduceus grants special access to the archive. Once it is back, until the Order has control over the archive again, this discussion may you achieve.
I never would have foreseen this day would come. You are exceedingly unpredictable, Commander. In a good way. Mostly.
human billboards. Of course, I also enjoy watching professional athletes bludgeon each other. Such a relatable interest. See, subordinates, I'm just like you. Until next time, for me and Platinum Executive Skybox Harbor. Anti-Cleos were specifically founded to fight what nature includes, to offer higher quality pharmaceuticals designed
Free to take.
because nature wants to kill you. Since then, our company has grown, evolved, consumed the first of many rivals. But that original goal remains one of our goals. Yes, now we strive to spread unfettered free trade.
We've successfully co-opted yet another of our rivals. Can't believe those eggheads accepted the deal.
That outside contractor is here. You request...
There you are, our fresh-faced new go-getter. We meet in the flesh at last. You've proved quite useful. Keep it up. You'll be going places. You don't seem much put off by my appearance. Good. I have no stomach for those with no stomach regarding me having no stomach. It is, however, something of a brand secret reserved for only the most trusted confidants. And covered in detail buried within the confidentiality clause you agreed to on arrival. I trust this presents no concerns for you, yes? Oh, don't worry. You won't rate this sort of treatment should you meet with disaster. You should be so lucky. This is reserved for me only. Fortunately, when you're the head of an advanced medical technology corporation, you become first in line for any experimental life-preserving procedures. As far as what happened, I was the victim of an unfortunate industrial accident shortly after we arrived here, the details of which are less salient than the details of what comes next.
Not exactly. Well, exactly. But not in the way you think. We have a mission for you that is vital to Auntie's Choice's survival.
We've uncovered an opportunity to procure me a new, audaciously improved replacement body.
That was actually considered at one time.
But ultimately, it was found unviable. Not too sure how much you've boned up on our grafting program, but it had a significant number of setbacks.
No, to find me the perfect body, you'll be assailing an inappreciably populated automated automech factory over on Praetor. Not just any automechanical, something much, much more exciting. That facility was designed to build complex automechs, a natural choice when the Protectorate began experimenting with a proxy body for the original Sovereign. It was the last in a long line of his ill-fated life extension experiments. Work halted when he died, and the torso prosthesis they developed has been locked in the Make It Mine.
There's a sub-facility.
Well then, fetch me...
Good luck, my
Don't let us-
ameliorator. Remember, you can't spell heinous ascetic without
Time for discounts.
As your peerless leader known for her unparalleled business acumen, I might appear above the occasional frivolity, but no, I do enjoy spectating a rousing sporting match as much as all of you face rank and file. The big rig cut off toss boys from home.
Shoo! And Auntie has work to do. Shoo-shoo! Move along. Now.
Protector, it's watered down.
Can't afford.
Pitchball, they call it. My, how imaginative. And don't get me started on their arbitrary rule changes. Bronzing is prohibited in the Tuesday and Thursday zones? Why even have the T zones then? Oh, and sportsmanlike conduct is tolerated? That will put posterior in the seats. A blood sport without blood. Fewer than 6 critical blood force traumas in last week's contest. Easy heel bumpers and Spectrum brand bandits. I'd pit our least bankable toss ball team against its entire roster of pitchball pushovers any day of the...
Consider finding a human companion if you seek conversation.
Surviving surrender is a capital crime. Your family would inherit your shame.
detected. Spies from Anti-Cleo! Seize them!
I'll handle this. Enemy in vicinity.
The story of Anti-Cleo versus the Moon Man is a ballad for our ages. A thing of legend, to be handed down for a modest fee to each successive generation. Mascot represents the worst impulses of all corporations, who fairly stack the deck against the little person, as they tried with us at Town City. Did Anti-Cleo take Spacer's
Soon I'll be able... You're back! Finally! Finally! Do you have it? Did you bring it here? Splendid. Oh, splendid! We'll ensure your reward matches the ample amount of faith I've placed in you. Nay, exceeds it. No additional... Oh, let me see it. Yes, indeed. Oh, let me look at you. If you'll all just excuse me a moment as I slip into something more formidable.
There you are. Congratulations. Now your body's almost as intimidating as your mind. You've narrowed the gap quite a bit.
Oh, Auntie, you look amazing. Absolutely everyone will want a new mech body after watching you strut the walk.
What about you? What do you think? Any first impressions you'd like to share? The perfect understated threat to drive all my negotiations to their proper conclusion. What's more, it's an undeniable confirmation that the Archive-derived strategic plan can be reliably executed and produces with their predictive abilities refining our planning and execution. Our market, yes, so much to do, and we have you to thank for making it happen. I am quite looking forward to you working for... As they say, time is capital, time is bits. You're burning lucre just standing there. Go!
As your chief executive, I've fostered a healthy, cutthroat rivalry between our top divisions. Jealousy, hard feelings, really stirring the pot of unorthodox.
As predicted, Spiraton is ours. Above average work. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have numerous calculations to think about. Your actions are in accordance with the plan. Your methods are unconventional, Outlier, but you get
I cogitate
verifiable
more
proof.
efficiently knowing you're on our side.
Be the statistical exception to the natural state of entropy in the universe.
I am busy. Speak quickly so that we may best utilize this. May you achieve...
Not watching.
the system.
Yeah!
Gray gone astray? Book a stay today. Are you mentally refreshed?
Stop talking.
Remember, all subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Consul. The Consul provides, the system abides. Prudence
Professor
dictates
Ostergaard
we
making a mess of
resist
things now.
influences.
Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate skill for their assigned work? Report them for mental refreshment post-haste. It's not just a good idea, it's the law.
Worthless bodies.
Feeling distracted? Daydreaming on the job? Mental refreshment centers
Enemy
are
moving
there
into
to
harm's
help
way.
you. Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts. Go now.
Prudence dictates we repel invasive elements.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
Prudence dictates we cherish all we have and defend it.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community.
Oh, I feel terrible. Everybody who ate the latest Crabble rations fell ill. The rumor is somebody died.
Individualism in all its many forms.
Preserve said progress. Sustain the system. Gray gone astray? Book a stay today.
Never eating Crabble again.
Remember, all subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Consul. The Consul provides, the system abides.
Good.
Hostilities are afoot. Yours out there. Activating energy transmitter. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Stop talking.
Disruptive influences!
Mock that.
They hate our...
landed on a hostile planet day 35. Oh. Not sure how you managed to approach unnoticed. Could be I'd grown so attuned to my surroundings, I became one with the wood and fire and the earth. Were you? Why, after only just 2 weeks on my own, I ascertained how to pry open a rations tin unaided. Did you know there's a little opener key attached? Oh. I've recently evolved into a rugged, Why, just the other day, I reinvented... Yes, indeed. I know this cave and that big computronic adding machine? Nah. Oh, you might call in reinforcements if the Spyreton lift controls were working. I happen to have its I might be convinced to part with them. I'm fixing to take down one of the local ursopods. A few sprat corpses would be helpful as bait. Finally, give it...
I was forced to eat sprat when stranded once myself, though I demonstrated considerable less.
Sorry you had to see that. The parcels of victuals my neighbor sends over the tube have fallen off recently. Barely eaten for days. Send me over a bunch of recordings, along with I do. Here, drop it.
Name's Hoyt, right? I've noted some right sophisticated interactions among the Crabbles lately. Intricate courtship rituals, coordinated group efforts, all about thermal transfer. When my unit was first stationed down here, I kept making excuses to sneak off and observe them. Product research, I said. Very hush-hush. Eventually gave my lieutenant the field promotion and ordered them all away. Been living off the land here like the Crabbles ever since. Their unfertilized roe actually makes for some good eating. Included some with this message. Eat up.
Worthless body.
Resorting to violence. Never hurts to give the enemy more targets to shoot at, I suppose. Done weapon ready, Commander.
Where's
Torpificator at ready status.
Every part is
worthless body?
Ratcheting up my aggression. Back and scared. Reviving me is strategically optimal.
restoring the balance.
Like me! For Gary!
Sustain the system.
Really? Prudence dictates we cherish all we have and defend it.
Our enemies envy our prosperity. Sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
You're remarkably effective for someone so ignorant.
Oh, hello.
The map happens. Impressive. Impressive.
Caduceus, not detected. Entry kindly, yet firmly declined.
Will this gastric nightmare never... just a moment, forgive me.
Oh, you poor man.
So do I need assistance from someone with substandard, non-protectorate medical training? Thank you, but no, you're too kind. I am the Archive's current I still have trouble saying that. Like many others, the latest batch of... I would pass the Caduceus on to you in exchange for granting me safe passage. The Archive would then recognize you as its operator. It will no doubt earn me mental refreshment, perhaps worse. But this way, I retain some measure of hope. All right? I am providing you... Here, you are now operator of the... Is there a protectorate curativist house? I feel rather... Ah!
The console provides, the system abides. Prudence dictates. Route all disruptive influences. Yeah.
Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for their assigned work? Report them for mental reflection post-haste. It's not just an idea. It's the law.
Yeah!
Caduceus detected. Alternative operator postulated. Concluded. Organizing replacement. Greetings, sentient. Welcome to the I am ENIAC, the universal equation numeric with the aid of my operator. I, a non-sentient inorganism, marshal vast computational resources across the moon of Cloister. That, I fear, would be a misleading choice of words, as it implies a form of sentience or cognition. Applied to my express programmatical purpose is to optimize profits, i.e. gain over expenditure, to maximize the needs of our society above others.
This thing seems unbalanced.
Beg your pardon. How may I best facilitate your efforts? Sentience would be an undue waste of processing power.
Sentients frequently become unprofitably preoccupied by abstract deliberation.
From a computational perspective, structurally, I am a complex series of pre-programmed subroutines, like a vast, elaborate flowchart.
To bring the
aiming to the extent that I will even voice concern for my life. If in peril, my erroring others would no doubt, cartoonishly, most archive operators, the role to. Does that answer all of your questions? Do you possess further ancillary queries?
Auntie's Choice attempted to formulate a foolproof marketing plan, a charm offensive to reintroduce itself to the main colonies. Once this pesky Rift issue is resolved.
The Protectorate ran Rift calculations, then utilized me to assist with organizational matters, to approximate the paradigm, a system devised to replace the loss of the Order's predictive input. Based on the increasing rate of Rift fluctuations, I estimate that your inquiry is Rift-related. To that end, we should best get started before we are consumed by them. Due to incomplete reprogramming efforts by differing operators, I am experiencing sporadic tonality and cadence weightings within my...
In layman's terms, we're
caused by intermittently vacillating fundamental shift.
What approximates its mind has become trifurcated.
One would assume that calamity enough.
Calculatory processing presently hovers around 49.7% capacity, due to internecine conflict, misuse, and a lack of technical prowess by recent operators and their associates. No, not when I can guide others out of worry and doubt. To some, not when there are bits to be made. The theorized method to purge myself of my erring others is slightly more involved. To avoid the requisite downtime, I endeavor to work around them. For now. Well, my naysaying fuss perusing contents. An impressive accumulation of rift data. Similar in composition, though decidedly not in scope, to that provided by the
Information with the potential to offer unique...
But why simply huck goods better, when such a bounty could be used to flawlessly regulate society? What is the aim of your query? The previous operator, Assessor Ostergaard of the Protectorate, pursued a like query 1 year, 6 days ago. Though to perform similar calculations of larger scale at current...
25.7 years, and any job over 2 decades is billed by the hour.
In order to improve calculatory processing of rift data in a timely manner, repairs must be made to address the damage done by Protectorate and Auntie's Choice operators. I am afraid that I am on Colt's repair.
Why is that optional? Our continued existence should be a paramount concern.
When active, the archive generates an enormous... I can process the rift data without its repair. Yet, with thermal transfer presently idle, a contingent of Krabbels have made the area...
Who cares about a herd of pea-brained?
Potential allies in the Order would not like that.
It is an archival area, the sum total of all our accumulated knowledge. It is difficult to accurately ascribe an exact causal breakdown between premeditated sabotage, collateral harm, technical ineptitude, and willful hijinks. Some categorical overspill inevitably occurs. Attempts by non-order operators to reprogram my priorities have also led to issues. Inverting targeting protocols. Any Protectorate still on the ground level is now being fired upon. Permissions within other areas of the archive are locked, however.
Return later.
Return when all required tasks have been completed.
Abides. Prudence dictates all disruptive influences.
Those combatants appear to have been bested by the most efficient assassin of all. Exposure to the elements.
Hold fire! Watch yourself. You came from the outside. Does that mean we can finally escape? Why? Oh, you must be another case of hypo. It's because the archive controls the surface lifts, which are the only way in or out. And once now, for more than a month, we've all been trapped in these caves, Order and Antes alike, scrounging for food, huddling for warmth, and desperately trying to stay alive. You're what? How? The odds of you successfully doing what our whole army could not is... Regardless, if we are to maximize your odds of success, you should at least let us... You'll want to speak with Provost Finch, though I would be absolutely ecstatic to offer you any information I have that would increase the odds of your success. The paths down here all connect, so no matter which direction you go, eventually you'll find your way back to me. Nevertheless, venture south and you'll reach the thermal transfer. In the loop between the two, what else can I do to help you? Absolutely. There are also... Near the thermal and directly south is a band of what had been normal folk. No. Though, if I'm being honest, I'd certainly sleep better if I wasn't unceasingly concerned about their perpetual capitalistic calculating. Watch yourself.
Is it strange that I'm just being shot at?
How
can it be part of the universal
time before they're tearing out each other?
My scouts reported significant activity in the which was obviously you. A notion that fills me with questions. I don't suppose you would care to enlighten me as a beginning to our discourse? You took the archive? On your own? That's quite a feat. Even after combining our forces, we've been unable to accomplish anything close to that. My name is Provost Finch, and I've been appointed as leader of this motley band. Correct. At first, we were antagonists, warring against each other and the Protectorate. But then the Protectorate locked the lifts and doors, trapping us all beneath the ice. With no escape or access to resupply, continuing to kill each other made scant sense. So, I reached out to their commander under a flag of truce and suggested we would pool our food, warmth, and resources while here, and could go back to killing over a month. And hardly. It took days, and unbeknownst as they began to lose ground, Of course. Oh, now, we wait, having calculated that the odds of rescue being greater than our chances of successfully assaulting those...
Of course, no.
Well, look at that. A fresh bomb show.
Of course, nobody's gonna see it. That's not the
Time
point.
for discounts.
Just don't feel like a human being if my back's not shaved clean.
So,
You seem like
sorry,
a go-getter. Let's
time is
consume
dead.
lunch.
It's time.
You look unfortified. Getting enough emulsifiers in your Have a profitable day.
Welcome to our misbegotten... I'm the volunteer Sawbones here. Oh, thank the law. I'm on the lookout for a medicine sachet, but I can't leave the folk here, if it's anywhere. But I'm... Hope you get the medicine soon. Whenever... Not unless the Protectorate's...
attack. Investigating hostile intentions.
Not just me!
Mobilizing.
Get the spread!
I'll handle this. I have a fix on their weaknesses. Say the word and I'll spread it like target analyzed. Check your scope for combatant analysis.
Not just me!
Proceed. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Energy transmitter out.
Caduceus detected. You are clear to enter thermal transfer. Be advised that an anti-super field manager is present and
Resorting
unaccounted
to
for.
violence.
Get this!
Batten scan.
Like me!
Protectorate engineers. Reckon they didn't repair much.
Fellow subject lacking the appropriate...
Welcome back, Sentient.
subject lacking the appropriate
The operator
zeal
has
for their
returned.
assigned work?
Yeah!
Ah, nice of you to drop by. You're looking very, toothsome. Something smells delicious. Something smells delicious. And I think it's probably you.
We're all in this together.
Mechanism needs repair. Any tools lying around?
Investigating hostile intentions.
Toolkit. Should come in handy with repairs.
All will pay!
Resorting to violence. Check your scopes for combatant analysis. Activating energy transmitter. Torpificator is charged. To attack.
Get the spread.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Transmitter down over here.
Don't make me avenge you!
I'll handle this.
Looks like it needs a fuse. A specific kind.